Preeti, tell us about what factors do you play in a women's mental health? I know you're a superwoman yourself. You've gone through, different careers, and you've raised two amazing young adults, and now you are a CEO of a company. So tell me, how do you do that? What factors do you think play into it?
So, although the title of Superwoman may make us feel accomplished and powerful, and, I grew up as a tomboy because I didn't like people, the stigma of, oh, you're a girl, or they tell my parents, you have daughters, you don't have sons. I heard so much of that. So I resolved to do everything that boys would do. And most of my life, I was a tomboy and kept trying to, do that. But then over the years, I've realized that, instead of trying to be a superwoman, just being a woman is super because we're endowed with certain qualities that come naturally to us. So I feel we need to use our feminine qualities of compassion and love and bring the family together and, sort of make them participate in the functioning of the household. We shouldn't try to hold on to the stigma, right? How do we release it and move on? And so that's something I would sometimes you'll run into people expecting you to do that and you have to sort of work through that, and but always motivating them in some way. Because what happens is that we often try to follow the cultural and traditional roles and responsibilities while also trying to be a full professional and do everything else, right? And you have high standards for yourself. So in both areas, you're creating stress. We also find it hard to say no, and then we take on more responsibilities. So what I've learned that instead of doing that, start being more vulnerable. It's okay to ask for help. It's okay to say no sometimes, but follow this thing that you might have learned, and I really like that from improv, is don't say no, say yes and. So instead of saying no, I can't do that, yes, I can do the cooking, but could you help me with the dishes? So yes and is like a very nice formula which brings people in. So that's one thing we can use from just improv. It's kind of a fun thing and it engages everyone. And then I also realized that if you ask for help, it opens the doors for other people to ask you for help. If you try to say, no, I'm going to get it done myself and everything, then people think, well, can I really ask her because she's so busy? Or, so it creates some sort of boundaries and creates walls around you. The more vulnerable you are, the more vulnerable other people can be. And it makes it much stronger bonds. And then, like I said earlier, it's really important to sneak in some self care routines. It could be just 5-10 minutes of exercise and stretching. It could be 5-10 minutes of yoga and meditation. And one very important thing is women work in circles. So it's always like, you saw from Pushpaji, from others, Paras connecting with friends. We need a circle of other, friends to reach out to them as and when needed so that they can reach out to us, keeping those doors open. And typically that will help our well-being. And also we also want to be very careful not to propagate the gender stereotypes that we may have grown up with. So I wanted to make sure, so I made sure my sons were always involved. So we should involve our sons and daughters equally in all household chores as well as all external chores. So we need to say, okay, what did I like about things that I grew up with, and what did I not like? And we have to stop the cycle here instead of propagating it. So that's what I try to practice and sort of bring about in the community. And I think that's what's helpful to see and support other people that way.
Wow, lots of great pointers there. I certainly loved everything you said. I think self-compassion is a really good medicine for all of us. And of course, all the other points that you shared make total sense. So thank you for sharing that, Preeti.